danger of not being clear in your mind and in your message. Because an unclear mind always rambles, and when you get off stage, you think you killed it because you filled the space with words. Filling hours of your time with activity because you're unclear in your mind. Because what a lion needs in order to utilize its power, a lion, before it devours its prey, if you ever watch Animal Planet, it leans its legs down, it focuses, and then it pounces. For a lion to devour and use its strength, it needs to focus, then pounce. It needs to... So if a lion tamer uses a stool with 4 legs, it keeps the animal in a constant state of hesitation. It renders its power ineffective because it cannot gain full focus. And this is the weapon of the enemy. I gotta give honor where honors due. Please forgive me. Other than God, my mother, and my father, nobody has contributed more to what you see than Dr. Dharius Daniels. I believe you know how I feel about honor. I think it's one of those things that changes everything, okay? So what you honor, anything you don't honor leaves your life. That you honor stays in your life. So if you don't honor your health leaves your life. You don't honor your wife leaves your life. You don't honor your mentor, your pastor, it leaves your life. So thank you. Well, I'm your online cousin on your YouTube and your Instagram side. So just make me feel at home and say, hey, cousin Marcus. Well, it's good to see y'all, cousins. Well, I'm used to talking back and having conversations like this. I feel most comfortable when I feel like we playing spades and somebody just reneged. That's the environment I feel. Well, I was born, so I'm faith and business. I tell people I feel like I grew up like Denzel and Preacher's Wife and American Gangster at the same time. That's a brand name, okay? So I want to start our conversation today using this book that I hope you all have heard of before. If you haven't, you should come here on Sunday, this book called the Bible. Romans 11:13, this brilliant scholar by the name of Paul says something that caught my attention. Paul is having a conversation in Romans, and he begins to talk to them and says very specifically that he is the apostle to the Gentiles. Now, that's so important because we're talking about a person who speaks multiple languages. Now, that's not like me. I only speak business, ebonics, and a little bit of English. But you're talking about a man who speaks multiple languages. You know when he gives you his pedigree, he says that he is born to the tribe of Benjamin, grown up through the school of Gamaliel. You understand that this is a person that he is zealous in the law, who speaks the language. He not only understands, quotes the scriptures, but he is a person that can interpret the scriptures by mind. You're talking about a person that writes 3/4 of the New Testament. So Paul is the one who gave you the apostle, the prophet, the evangelist, the pastor, the teacher. It is Jesus who birthed the church. It is Paul who gave you the details for the titles in the church. So this Paul, who was gifted enough to help everybody, tells you that I'm an apostle to the Gentiles. I'm good enough to help them, but I'm only assigned to this group. In the words of my pastor, I can do it, but I ain't called to it. My pastor's Dr. Dharius Daniels. So Paul writes this, and it's so important because if the conversation we're having today is around messaging, Paul recognized in his mind, he has a picture in his mind of who he's talking to every time he writes. Although I'm gifted, I've got to control my ability to speak about things that I ain't called to. So Paul, if he was in this day and time, would tell you, stop arguing with strangers about strangers in chats on the internet. Get out them shade room comments. Now this is so important, you all, because clear communication comes from a clear mind. Say this with me. Clear communication comes from a clear mind. So he can only be clear in his communication because he's clear in his mind. I am an apostle, one anointed and called by God to this group of people. If he does not have that clarity, he's a doctor writing prescriptions for patients he's never seen. You can be sued for malpractice because you don't know them people and their issues. I can only write to the issue of those I'm called to. Why? Because those are the ones that God talks to you about. Are y'all with me? We'll say, come on, cousin Marcus. All right, so I want to show you an example really quick of the danger of not being clear in your mind and in your message. Because an unclear mind always rambles, and when you get off stage, you think you killed it because you filled the space with words. An unclear mind does busy work spending 4 hours on Canva when you can pay somebody to do that. Filling hours of your time with activity because you're unclear in your mind. So y'all see how this has 3 legs on it, right? So a lion tamer, anybody ever seen a lion tamer before? I always ask the question, now everybody knows that the lion is the king of the... So it is strong, it is fast, it has the ability to devour anything in its path. So a small, minuscule, 5-foot-something man has the ability to control the power of an animal that it could devour him with a stool and not a stick. Because what a lion needs in order to utilize its power, a lion, before it devours its prey, if you ever watch Animal Planet, it leans its legs down, it focuses, and then it pounces. For a lion to devour and use its strength, it needs to focus, then pounce. It needs to... So if a lion tamer uses a stool with 4 legs, it keeps the animal in a constant state of hesitation. It renders its power ineffective because it cannot gain full focus. And this is the weapon of the enemy. You're too anointed for him to stop what God has for you. So now he does not rob you of ideas. He just keeps giving you so many of them. If I were the enemy of your soul, I wouldn't tell you can't do it because you'll rebuke that. I wouldn't tell you that it's impossible because you know too many scripture for that. I just keep feeding you idea after idea after idea after idea after idea. So you spend the rest of your life, January, February, March, it's going to be my year. April, it's going to be my year. May, it's going to be my year. June, it's going to be my year. And then you blame a year worth of inactivity on the government and on everything else when all it was you could not use your strength because you couldn't focus. My question this year for myself is, in the words of 𝗬𝗵𝗵 on her show, she does a thing that says, can I afford it? And for every request that somebody gives me this year, I realize I'm a limited resource. Can I afford it? Can my focus afford? Somebody texted me something the other day and told me that they were upset. I'm like, can I afford to engage in this conversation? Yo, bro, you got a minute? Can I afford it? Hey, I got a birthday party. Man, would love to have you there. How many people you got there? About 300. So I'm one of 300, and I'm going to get back tired and not be ready for what I need to be ready for. Can I afford it? Nah. Access is denied. Somebody said, I can't afford it. Most people meet the things that can change their life, and all they talk about is the decisions they made in their past that keeps them from investing in their future. Most people meet the thing and the people that can change their life. The thing and the people. The thing requires an investment. Why? The life you want will not loan you access to it. You don't owe me your sacrifice and your focus. I owe you an investment because you were focused. When I pay a coach, I am paying a coach for their focus. When we hear Dr. Darius Daniels, you don't get up here and speak that clear if you didn't say no to something to sit and focus. What you are listening to on Sunday is sacrifice. Because you always spend more time preparing than you do performing. So a whole week for 40 minutes. So when I give to you, what I'm giving to you, I'm buying a plane ticket, not a train ticket. Trains and buses, ladies and gentlemen, are meant to go east and west, north and south, and you have to listen for your stop and know when to get off. So an unclear mind always hops off on the wrong exit and end up getting there late. But people like Darius Daniels are a plane ticket. All you have to do is buckle your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. The pilot don't ask for my advice. I think you missed your stop. Whenever there's turbulence, I laugh when people look out the window. What you gonna do? like you can look out. I know what cloud they hit. That cloud right there was a little high. That was a speed bump cloud. Cousins, y'all okay? Whenever you get a chance, you got to buy them plane tickets. It just requires you to follow instructions. That's it. If you know something that I don't know, and if I knew it, I would get to where I'm trying to go faster, I'd pay you. I'd pay you.